The North has always built wealth. Our fathers with granite pyramids and our grandfathers with textile mills.
But today things are different. The youths are building digital empires, film industries, fashion brands, wealth that you can't touch, but you can feel through clicks, through streams, and ideas.
Are we ready to admit that the old ways of wealth are gone? And can we finally see that creativity, that is art, tech, content, are not just hobbies, but the real engine that can drive the North forward? My name is Funom,
And I'm Dorcas.
My name is Abby, and
and
this
this is
is
the
the
Not
Not
Said
Said
Word
Words
podcast
podcast on
on
Unplug.
Hello, Abby.
Hi, Funom.
Hey, D.
Hi.
How have you been?
I'm fine.
Hi, Dorcas.
Hi, Abby.
Hello.
All right. So the discourse for today, we are shifting the spotlight to our systems of wealth building, right? Just like we had rightly said from the beginning, the North has never been lazy.
Yeah.
You know, our grandfathers, the granite pyramids. In fact, it's always mind blowing when we see the ginormous pyramids of harvest that they always build. It just shows strength, physical strength, and their readiness to build legacies through that. And we also have our fathers with the textile mills, right? But things have shifted. The era has moved to
Yes.
where we are today. Today, we are not measuring wealth is not being measured by the things you can dig underground,
By
because we're
hands.
looking at streams, we're looking at attentions, we're looking at things you can create, creativity,
Yes.
and all of that. I mean, the online space is now the new industry to thrive.
Yes.
But we cannot, obviously have our attention caught by the reality that in the North, there is a slow reception of this reality. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think that wealth has evolved from hand to mind.
Right.
Before we're in the era of granite pyramids, textile mills, cotton fields, but now you can see that the youths are building empires, digital empires, streams, ideas, creativity, and it's just good to see that people are actually stepping out of their comfort zone to actually do more, especially in this time and age of digital.
Right.
Yes.
The era.
Yeah, digital era. It's good to see that we have creatives from the north and they are really doing good. I really love to see it.
I also love the fact that the creatives from the North are really thriving, both locally and even they can thrive globally. But we just don't have enough of them. I mean, do you agree with that? I mean, compared to other, regions and areas of the world.
I feel like we from the North, we are actually big on culture.
Right.
And most people believe creatives are just lazy people. All you do is sit at home and press your phone,
Right.
stand up and work.
Right.
So like our culture, like we have to go and farm. You have to do something physical to be considered hardworking. That's why most people don't consider create online
Right,
stuff. Yeah.
right. So in fact, I feel, the not being considered conservatives are very slow in, adopting new realities. And so up till today, we have people who attempt to be creative, to go into the creatives instead of the conventional path of, creating or building their life. And what do we have? We now have parents that are like, hey, get a real job, do something reasonable. What are you doing? Will this feed you? In fact, I have a friend who is into sales, and this guy is making a killing. I mean, he's making a killing. And then he has this girl he wants to marry. And he was telling me that some time ago, he was telling me that right now, his girlfriend's father is telling him to actually find a real job if he really wants to settle with his daughter. And I'm like, does the man know how much you earn? Does he know how much you earn? He said he has tried to explain it, but the man is like getting real because he actually studied law. And then the man is like, why don't you build your career around law? What is all these things that you're doing online? You cannot build a home like that, you know? So, I mean, what can you say about the fact that there's a slow reception of this new reality, particularly in the North?
I feel like that's because we are not looking at creativity as an economic engine. Let's look at it from that perspective. First of all, we have Kannywood. Kannywood has evolved like over the
Right,
years. Like
yeah.
if you look at Kannywood, you can see that most people from Kannywood are people that have now evolved into global stages. Hollywood, Bollywood. Rahama Sadov was in Bollywood. So you can see that it's not just all about what the hands can do. You don't have to, but what your mind can do. Your mind can travel as far as you want it to go as long as it's creative. So let's really look at creativity as an economic engine first.
But everything is mindsets.
Right.
Most people believe that creatives are just like, it's just a hobby. I'm a theater art student. And when I tell people I study theater, they'll be like, what will you end up doing?
Yeah.
Most people say you end up finding ego. Like all these things, like they feel like it's not a real
That's a
course.
hard
Like
word.
what job are you going to end up
Right.
with? So like go and they'll be like study something like medicine or law.
Yeah.
Why are you studying theater arts? We go and be dancing, will dancing feed you and
Right.
stuff like that. So it's mindset. People have this whole view on creativity. They feel like it should just be a hobby, something you do on the side. Yeah.
But I feel like creativity is building blocks of northern wealth, like in the future, like it's building wealth.
Right.
The earlier we embrace it or we accept that fact, I
Yeah,
think the better
better
for
for
everybody.
us. Right.
Because it will be very sad if the whole world move on without us. It will really be sad.
Just like you said, it's all mindset. So now the asset has shifted, but the mind needs to catch up. That is what is needed, especially in this area.
And there should be a cultural mindset shift also to help us to be able to reach that space of saying that we can now have the global economy. We can have like a percentage in the global economy.
Right,
Yeah.
right. In fact, one thing I need to see stop, which, I mean, right now we should not be having thousands of people lined up for a job notice. You know, there's so much, like now, the field is now so open that we don't all have to queue up on one point. Like people are now still chasing up to today, 2026. We still have a lot of people lined up when a job notification is out.
People still go to the post office.
People still go to the post
actually
office
check.
now
Who
to
does
check
that?
job vacancy updates. I mean, that's crazy. I feel that's so much potential energy just lying there. These are potential creatives who can make big name, make a killing on the online space.
I saw something on TikTok. There's this artist, Marvel. I think he sang that Body Na Meat Spice song.
Oh.
I heard it's a doctor, like a medicine
Oh,
student.
medicine. He studied medicine.
So yeah, he did that. Like I feel like maybe his parents feel music is not.
Right.
Yeah, it's just you're playing with your future. Why would you want to go into music where you can just study medicine? So most creatives, their parents don't support their dreams because they feel like you're playing with your future. Why don't you study something that will give you real money? Till parents start seeing like the money that creatives make, they won't actually see it as a real.
Dreams
So you show them
until
money
they
now,
see
and
the
until they
receipts.
see the
Yeah, you have to just prove yourself. And that is one thing that majorly potential creatives are dealing with, the parent factor.
This is where we need a cultural mindset shift. I feel like if we invest more in intellectual labor and invest in skills and thinking beyond just the traditional, or should I say the mediocre, because I feel like it will really go a long way. Just moving from this whole, if my son is not being a medical doctor or an engineer or a pilot or a lawyer, then there's no profession at all. People sell apps for a great deal.
Girl.
And it all comes from the intellect. It doesn't mean that I don't have to actually go and dance as a theater art student or go to class and as an economic student, or use my hands, or do something for it can be as little as sitting down on my laptop writing codes and all of that. Those intellectual skills, that's what we are talking about. We need to really invest more in all of that. If we do that, like, it will really, really go
And
a long way.
talking of that, I feel this era has actually made it easier for us. I mean, gone are the days. Okay, Dangote, who is the wealthiest black man on earth. I remember one time he was talking about how he built his wealth, and he said it took him 30 years to build his empire, right, to what it is today. And he keeps building and developing as we have it today. But we also have people like the streamers, the coders, and all of that. You see them, their life changes in almost a snap. In fact, I show speed. People like Asho. How long did it take him?
He's
to build?
Just 21, and
Even Pella.
So now, like the economic demographic distribution has changed. Gone are the days where for you to be a multi-millionaire, you have to have built and you have gotten to 50 years of building your wealth, and then you're not having grace, and then now you have built wealth. But now it has changed. We now have teenagers.
Yeah, I feel like
legal money.
Gen
Even
Z
intangible
actually,
work is real work.
Yeah.
That's what we need to realize.
Intangible work is
real work. Even intangible work
Even
is real
intangible work
work.
is real work.
Those days they used to believe that only tangible work.
Yeah,
is
the
real
things
work.
you can handle. Right?
Yes, exactly. So like we need to actually move from that.
Our mind
and
need
then
to accept this new reality.
Create a seat for the youths on the table.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, before, if you really want to support someone you really love, you'll see that, okay, you need to invest, say, couple millions, and then maybe get the person a store, and stock the store, and so the person can start building. But now you can literally support somebody by just buying the person a nice cell phone that just has a good camera. If the person meant to build something, he can take it from there, and only God knows how far he can go. There is no stopping. Like, the playfield is now so open. The playfield is now so decentralized and open for everybody to actually play. And we need to just understand that. Like, it has even become more easy, faster, anybody, anytime, anywhere, Now you have access to information in the other end of the world. You just have access to the entire world right on your phone.
Yes. Speaking of building, like I really want to ask that do you think that these digital empires, they've replaced lost industrial work?
I mean, I would say they have not just replaced them, though there is a smooth transition happening.
Yeah.
Some people are still holding on to them, but they are becoming the main thing now.
yeah.
It is becoming the main engine for the society. It is becoming.
But have you also looked at it that digital empires now can make industrial work or industrial wealth rather better? Look at it from this point of view. The whole textile industry is shut down in Kaduna. Have you heard of it? Yes, industry like the textile industry was like one of the major source of income, like to the north in general, because we are known for textiles.
Right.
But now we don't even have that because they have shut down. Think of it as me, a beginner creative now, just designing patterns on my phone and all of that. Like, how do they call them? Digital illustrators.
Right.
And we have new designs, new prints. You don't have to go back to the drawing board, use manual
Right.
and all of that. Like, think about how it will like really help the industry. I feel like if there is a sync and there's a synergy between the digital empire and like the industrial wealth,
Right.
it will really go a
to
long way.
make everything easier and
Yeah.
faster.
Yeah. I mean, it increases efficiency. Like the things that you had to put a lot of effort and resources to achieve right now, I mean, it has been reduced to PRS minimal. Like few clicks can achieve things that manpower needed. Like a lot of manpower was required, a lot of resources. Now, a couple of clicks here and there, has replaced all of that. And talking of that, when this at the nascent stage of this new era, when it was just new, you know, it was like an option where, okay, you want to use online, you want to use social media to build your empire, to develop your business, good and fine. If you want to use the normal brick and mortar, have a billboard, a signpost, a store, product, and yeah, then it was like an option, either this or that. And then we got to the place where it's a plus for you. Look, it's not normal, it's no longer an option, but if you can also have a social media presence for your business, then it's a plus for you. But right now we are in a place that if you don't have social media presence for your business, bro, you're not in business.
Yeah.
Like, that is where we are. But still, we have a lot of people who are yet to accept or come to terms with that reality. We still have people who are paying for signboards, billboards to usher people. And that is so limiting, because imagine you're using signboards to advertise your business. What happens to the person that is not in your city? What happens to a lot of eyes that are not in your neighborhood or your city or around you? That limits you. But now the social media space has now made it so, the access so open, that you can literally be in Kano State and you are getting customers that are in Lagos. You are getting customers that are even beyond, the limit of the boundaries of the nation. Like, that is the power that is in our hands. We need to come to terms with,
Yes.
And so, also considering, with the advent of this new era, we can now see that now there is a wider scope of contribution to the society. Now we now have also the Gen Zs contributing just through, being online and, taking advantage of the online space. So now we're not only waiting for those who now have the big jobs, big offices to now contribute. We now have even the Gen Zs also contributing. And the per capita that is coming from them is crazy. Like,
You see,
the online space
a 19-year-old
is
with
stormed.
millions,
It's in-
and all he does is just sit in his house and play games, and you see, he's a millionaire.
He's a millionaire.
It's crazy.
So guys, let me ask you this. How do we encourage families to see content creation, tech, fashion, acting as a legitimate career?
This is actually a phase. I feel it's a phase. A time is going to come where this reality will dawn on everybody. It's just a matter of how soon or how fast that would happen. And, for now, one of the things that we have to deal with, the millennials, the Gen Z have to deal with, is now, proving themselves. Now they have to now prove themselves through their own results, That is one thing they just have to deal with, because eventually and gradually, the truth is, the resistance we are seeing today, if you compare it to what it was, say, some 10 years ago, you see that it is reducing. The resistance that used to be there before is no longer there right now. In fact, we know there was a time where if you're young and you have some 1-2 million in your account, you must be a Yahoo boy. Or you must be into what do we call it? Other devious ways, racketeering and all of that, to get your wealth, But gradually, if we can sense what is happening in the atmosphere, there's a gradual reception and coming to terms with the new reality. Gradually, the resistance is reducing. Gradually, we are now accepting the fact that, okay, a 19-year-old, 18-year-old, 20-year-old can actually build his wealth online. Somebody can actually be at home and is making money. Because before, if you're living in your house and then they see you're not going out in the morning, you're not suited up with your tie and your suitcase or wherever it is, briefcase going to your place of work, and they see you are still eating every day, You're going to be the topic of some talk. What is this guy doing? Let us investigate him.
Yeah,
Or should we
faster.
report him? Only God knows what he's doing. And several talks there. But I think there's a gradual reception happening now. There's a gradual reception. So it's a question of really how soon or how fast that we can get totally in terms with it eventually.
Yeah, but another thing, uh, like exposure for young people is actually low key kind of bad because most parents are scared that their children will just like put their private life online.
Right.
Some people don't have limits; they can do anything just to go viral. Like there are young kids doing the craziest shit online just for views, so that they can go viral. So that's what parents are actually afraid of.
Yeah.
I cannot just be scrolling on TikTok and then I'll be like, is that not me? That is crazy. You just see yourself. Things that are not supposed to be out there, you see it out there. So that is another thing.
Okay, so I think that happens because of the need to stay relevant. So not every content is important. Not every content is relevant. Not every content should be out there. People don't realize this because they just feel that when I keep posting when I'm consistent, consistency is key. When I'm consistent, I would finally blow. So they just post anything, they create anything and anything that comes to mind, but they are not staying relevant. That is the thing. So now, if they actually niche down to a particular industry now or creative path or whatever, I feel like it will streamline this whole bizarre of posting things about families that you're not supposed to post. If I say I want to be a content creator, what am I creating? Like, do not always forget why you started in the first place. It's not all about I must post every day. When I post 100 videos in a month, I'll finally get the recognition that I deserve. I know someone that on that person's page, he has more than 100 posts, but on each post, he doesn't have up to 5 likes, but he keeps posting. What is that telling you? Go back to your drawing board. Why did I start in the first place? What was the reason behind these contents that I am making? I think that would actually help people to actually realize the kind of contents that they should be creating. What are my viewers looking out for? What message am I trying to pass across? It will streamline that.
Talking of that, I think that brings us to the matter of orientation. Because as much as we have found ourselves in a new era, as much as we have found ourselves with a new powerful tool, there's not the problem of orientation because you cannot, change the fact that whatever it is, it has to come with its pros and its cons, right? And so by the time we come to accept the realities, it now brings us to the matter of orientation, being properly oriented. Because funny enough, you talked about the message and all of that. Now, funny enough, whatever it is you're putting out there, you have audience for that thing. Look, if you want to go naked online, there's audience for you. Whatever you want to do online, there is audience for you. But now we need orientation to understand at what cost. At what cost? Now we have heard of some countries who police somewhat the kind of content that is being posted online. Countries like China, yes, they do that, and so they pretty much censor the content of what you're putting out. Yeah, so there are nations that do that, but we don't do that in Nigeria.
Oh, we should.
We don't. Yeah, we should. We don't do that in Nigeria, and that's why we see around what we see around.
Trust me, Nigerian governments tried it. They banned Twitter one time, and it didn't work.
Yeah. So
it didn't work.
I mean, so these are the things that we just have to do. So it now boils back to people taking up the initiative to actually orient others, especially younger minds. Because now this is a tool that is not only for the adults. I mean, I've seen parents that try to say, okay, my kids have to get to 18 before they can own a phone. My kids have to get to such and such. But now we have secondary schools, high schools where in primary school, part of the prerequisite is that you have to get your child an iPad, right? Or a tab, as the case may be. And so it's not a tool that everybody has access to. Little kids have access to. So now it's now becoming a family thing that we now have to orient children. It has to be part of family curriculum that you need to orient children on the use of these things. And I think if we don't get it on that family level, I mean, Where else do we think we can do that? You know?
I saw a trend one time about future generations and like how they would actually handle like the whole digital space and all of that.
Right.
And then they're like, get ready with me to go to school this morning. And then calling the teacher to say, my daughter will be late because we are doing filming a get ready with me.
Yeah,
Or
I saw
like
it too.
things that would actually like
A day in the life of the
trend
head
was
boy.
crazy, man. That trend was crazy, but in as much as it was chaotic and all of that,
Right.
it is true. Oh.
Yeah.
Because it's actually like what is actually really
It's a
going to
potential
happen.
reality that we are going
It
to
is,
come
it
in
is,
terms
it
with.
is.
It's actually happening. There are kids doing like get
Like,
ready with me.
it's
before they
happening
go-
already?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
see
To school?
8-year-olds doing skincare routines. Like,
Yeah,
what
I
do you
saw.
have on your face?
Going
I saw
digital,
that
the digital
recently, just
empire
recently.
is good, but within certain limits, doing it the right way.
You know, because of based on the fact that we now have, kids at very little age. I think one of the biggest YouTuber, there's this kid that his YouTube content is about reviewing toys, I think. And
Oh wow.
right from an age of is it 5 or so, but I know he was very young, very, innocent age he had started. And, he's among the top world
Creators.
biggest, YouTubers, particularly on YouTube. And because of that, that opened the eyes of several parents to now see that, oh, this child can be useful. This child can also be a contributor. And because there's lack of proper orientation, children are being exposed to a life they are not ready to handle.
Yes.
Children, like you said, a young girl now have to, making content on skin routine. It's these are the cons. These are the potential cons that we now have to face, right? It's one thing to have this potential power. Is another thing how you use it, and let us try to use it to avoid the narrative of power corrupting, because now this is power,
Yeah.
and power has that potential to actually corrupt.
So, what's your advice to parents with children in this space?
Right now, parents actually there's I won't just put it on just the parents. The countries are taking the initiatives upon themselves to censor these things. That is, so there are several levels at which that people can take up responsibilities and initiatives to handle these issues. Right? There's a part of the parents, right? Like I said, how you use the social media should now be a basic fundamental family curriculum. Everybody knows that, okay, I've given birth to children and I have to build their spiritual life, I have to build their academic life, their mental development. So you take your children to nice schools, you put them, you sign them up for extracurricular, skills and activities. I see kids learning karate, I see kids learning coding and all of that. So we also have to have this in those curriculum where we are exposed, enlightening the kids, giving them proper orientation on also how to use social media, because now is a tool that is available to everybody. And if they are not properly oriented from an early stage, they're going to have the wrong orientation and they're going to, already be steering off the right path. So I think it's a thing that at different, strata of the society, we all need to take initiatives. We all need to take responsibilities for setting things right in the social media and general online space.
Okay, so the North has always found ways to generate wealth. It may not be in factories anymore. It may be in innovations and ideas and content. The question is whether society is ready to embrace it, to embrace this cultural shift, or the youths are ready to lead it.
I feel the youths
Yeah.
are ready to lead. It's a matter of whether they need permission. Because when you talk about talent, the talent is there. There's talent in the North particularly. There is talent. Like, I'm talking firsthand. I've seen great talent.
Yeah,
People who
right.
are operating, and the problem is that these people are operating below their actual potential, right? There are people who are less talented, should I use that, or skilled, or whatever it is, but what they are putting out there is really nothing compared to these people who are just hidden.
Right.
Right, they are so skillful, but they are just hidden. Nobody's hearing about them. They do not have an online presence, social media presence. They're just there, right? So, and it beats me to ask the question: what permission are they really waiting for? What are they waiting for? Some kind of permission, or are they waiting for someone to blow the whistle and say it's time, or what? So I think they are. It's not a question of readiness, because I mean, the social media space is a place where people grow there. People grow right there. I mean, look at some of the biggest, call any biggest, the biggest YouTuber you can talk about. And then go back to their first. I mean, Mr. Beast is one of the biggest YouTuber, for example, or pretty much arguably the biggest, right? But go to his first, video on YouTube. You will see how crude it was and all of that. So it's a place where people grow.
Right.
So there's no matter of readiness. At any stage you are, you're actually ready to take it off. So it's permission you need. And maybe it's you that need to give yourself the permission, or the society need to be restructured and be open to, allow or encourage it.
One good thing
Encourage sensible content.
Encourage
But
sensible
one good thing
content.
about Gen Z, with or without society's permission, they will do it. They will do it. That's just the
Right. And to an extent too, that is good, though it also has its flip sides. But
true.
yeah, there's this need for less, permission to actually take steps. Okay.
I think this has been a time. What's your take points, Dorcas? Share your take points with us for this episode as we round up.
I feel like creativity is taking over. The internet is taking over, and parents need to actually get on board and stop stopping their kids
Right.
from exploring their talents. Like,
Right.
we need to get on board. This is 2026. We
It's
need to
2026.
do better when it
Right.
comes to creativity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Powerful. Yeah. So the time has changed. Our mind needs to change alongside it. Gone are the times you need to prove yourself or build with what you can do with your hands. Now it has shifted to the mind, and the mind is limitless. The hands are limited, but the mind is limitless. So we need to put down our laziness. We need to embrace and be awake. I don't want to use the word woke, but we need to be awake to see that this is the new reality and come to terms with it. Look, I also want to add that you are ready. The way you are ready. You might just need to, maybe all you need to do is just turn on the camera and start something. But be safe, and also, everybody in the society, the government, parents, schools, and every structures, we need to shift our attention to the online space, the social media space, and give our attention to proper orientation for the use of social media. Generally, we need to take up this responsibility and properly orient the young ones coming up on the use of the social media space, because the way some of our young ones are using it is detrimental to their future. It might not be seen now, but the time is going to come where you might have shifted in maturity from that place. But the problem is that social media never forgets. The online
Right.
space
Internet
never
never
forgets. And that is
So-
my take.
Whether you like it or not, we've transitioned from hands to mind.
Yeah.
And creativity is now the new economic engine. Thank you for watching this episode, and a time was had. Please subscribe to this channel, turn on post notifications so whenever we post a video, you'll be the first to be notified. Leave a comment down below, share to friends, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend to tell another friend, another friend, and the cycle continues. Until next time, I'll see you in the